comment, raise your hand. Keep it up for a minute. We'll get you a mic.
How's everybody today?
Good.
Good. Well, the first two practices have, been pretty good for us. I think the players have a good mindset. The energy level has been good. I think, preparation is so important. We have a shorter turnaround this year than what we had a year ago. Focus on execution. I think sometimes when you practice hard, it makes the game easier. Everybody's got to trust and believe in each other so that they can go out there and do their job and have confidence that we'll have success. I'm really proud of the team and the opportunity they created for themselves to be able to play in the national championship game this year. And we're playing against a really, really good Clemson team, a lot of skilled players, a lot of team speed, great quarterback. Deshaun Watson is, I think, maybe arguably the best college football player in the country. He's got a lot of experience. He's very productive as a passer. He's athletic as a runner. They have quarterback runs when they want to use them, and he's very effective at it. He's got really, really good receivers, starting with Mike Williams, and a guy that's got a whole bunch of receptions and over 1,000 yards receiving. And Gillum is a really good runner, so they have really good balance on offense. Their offensive line is good. Defensively, they're very talented up front. Make a lot of sacks, hard to score on. One of the top defensive teams in the country, and they're good on special teams. So this is a team that doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. So I think you got to be fundamental in your execution and not make mental errors that are going to give them opportunities, because they will take advantage of it, and that'll be really important for us in this game.
We'll start here with Aaron.
This is maybe a little technical question, but Jonathan Allen is described as having violent hands. What is it about him, the way he uses his hands, that make him such an effective player?
Well, I think any good defensive player has the ability to use his hands well. Jonathan can play with leverage. He's very athletic, so he can strike. And when you use your hands, you can separate from the blocker. When you separate from the blocker, you can disengage whenever you want. And that's very important. Some guys disengage too soon, so they end up in the wrong gap. Some guys have a great instinct for it and a great feel for it, which Jonathan does. And he ends up in the right place a whole bunch of times, and that's why he makes a whole lot of plays. So, we really emphasize that, with our defensive linemen, all of them to use their hands well, and Jonathan does it as well as anybody.
We'll come over to this side to Ken.
Coach, both teams were very effective in the championship game last year on third down. How big is that, especially in in this type of setting, to keep them off the field?
Well, I think it's always important. I think especially when you're playing against teams that want to play with tempo. When they convert third down on you, that allows them to extend drives. So the defense has to play these longer drives. When you get off the field on third down, you're usually shortening drives, which that's when they like to go fast, when they convert on third down. So I think it's always important, but I think in a game like this, against the style of offense that they play, it's critical to be able to get off the field on third down. Probably as important as anything.
Up front here with Mark.
I know it's been a couple of practices, but how have you seen the players respond to Steve Sarkisian since he's taken over?
Really well. It's been excellent. Very positive, very upbeat. Practice has been good. Energy level's good. Attitude's been really, really good.
In the back with Cecil.
Yeah, Coach, I was just going to follow up on that. Jalen's been pretty unflappable through everything. His two practices, your meetings with him this week, how have those gone?
Good. I think Jalen was a little frustrated with the way he played in the last game, and puts a lot of pressure on himself to prepare well. But I think it's our job as coaches to do a good job with him to help him prepare so that he feels comfortable and confident in going out there and being able to feel like he's practiced the things that we're going to ask him to do in the game, and he's done it enough that he's very confident and feels good about it. And that's one of the things that we're going to work hard on this week, so that he goes into this game with a little better comfort zone.
We'll stay on that side with Michael.
Overall, when you looked at the tape on the offense, what did you see that needed to be improved the most, and how does the shorter preparation time, how do you guys change the way you
Well, we had
structure?
25 negative plays in the last game, so what do you think I saw? Saw a lot of poor execution, a lot of poor fundamentals, didn't execute very well, wasn't very consistent, made some good plays. Most Scarborough played really, really well. Some other guys played well, but not with enough consistency and execution to eliminate a lot of the negative plays, which puts you behind in the down and distance, which gives you way too many third and longs, which means you don't extend drives. And I think a lot of people were frustrated with the way things went. And I think they're working hard this week to try to get all those things corrected. Every guy's got to do their job, trust and believe in it, and doing it the right way with the right technique, and together as a group to give the play the best chance to work, whether it's a running play or a passing play. And I just think that we have to do a better job as coaches to get them ready to do that.
Up front here with Dwayne.
Coach, we're a year removed from O.J. Howard having a huge game in the national championship game last year. How has he improved as far as his overall game?
Well, O.J.'s played extremely well for us this year. I know some people would look at how many passes he catches as if that is his, performance level based on that one statistical piece of information, but that's not how we evaluate a guy that plays tight end. He's improved as a blocker. He's done everything we've asked him to do all year. He's never gotten upset. He's never been frustrated that he's not getting the ball more. He goes out there every game and tries to do the best he can for his team, and I think he's played extremely well. I'd like to see him have more production. I'd like to see some other skilled players on our team have more production as well. And I think that if we're going to be a really good offensive team, we're going to have to utilize those weapons effectively.
Second row on the left with Joe.
Nick, what mechanisms or fail-safes do you have in place that allow you to put an offensive coordinator in a week before the championship game?
Guy's been with us the whole year, the whole football season. He knows the offense, he knows the players. He's worked on the game plans every week, knows the system inside and out, knows the terminology. I don't have any fail-safes. I just feel like I have to make decisions based on what's best for the players to have the best chance to be successful. And we made the decision, and we're not talking about it anymore. And we're moving forward, and we're looking forward, and everybody's going to do everything they can to support the people that are here now to make it work.
Over here with Ben.
What did you see from Tony Brown in the last game, and what do you think of his matchup for this game?
Well, 13 is a tough matchup in the slot. We had a tough time guarding him last year. Certainly have to do a better job, this year. Tony did a good job in the last game. Late in the game, had a couple passes that they caught on him. But for the most part, he did a really good job of matching the patterns and executing and doing his job and covering well. And I think it'll be, more challenging this week because of the balance and the skill level that this team has.
Coming back over here in the very front with Kirk.
Coach, I know last year Jalen came in and helped prepare for this game. Have you got some early enrollees this year that can be that kind of help?
Alex Leatherwood practiced for the first time today. We have 3 guys here, 2 passed their physicals and were able to go on the field, or we had 4 guys here.
I think 3 yesterday, and then Alex today. Townsend, McDonald, and Bugs.
Yeah.
And then Leatherwood.
Those are the guys that were here. Isaiah Bugs. Townsend has not been able to practice yet. And
McDonald.
yeah, those are the guys that are here so far. A lot of guys still playing in all-star games and can't get here until they get cleared to go to school. Clearinghouse just opened again like yesterday, so closed for a long time, so you can't make much progress until after the new year.
3 more. We'll start with Alex.
I was just curious, how much do you plan to be involved in the offensive game planning this week, more than maybe normal, and how much autonomy does Sark have with that?
Well, look, we have a good coaching staff. Our whole coaching staff has been here all year. All of our guys know the system. They all know know what we've done. They all know what we need to improve on. I meet with them periodically every day through the course of the week, and we discuss what we're going to do. And I have a lot of faith, trust, and confidence in what we're doing and what we're going to do. And the carryover that has for the players and our ability to teach and try to help them to execute it a little better so that we can have a little more consistency in the game. So, you know, if I say to do something, everybody always says, okay, coach, we'll go do the best we can to get it done. But really, I philosophically don't want to change a lot of the things that we're doing because I think it features our players well. I just think we have other guys that we need to get involved in what's happening in the game.
Two more in the back. We'll start with Joe.
Hey, Coach. There was a player survey that was published earlier today, and a couple of your players were quoted as saying that going into last year's match with Clemson, they felt like they were pretty beat up physically and felt that there should be less hitting and contact overall in practice. I'm just wondering your reaction to that, and how do you go about finding that balance when you're prepping at the end of the season like this?
Well, you know, we've tried to cut it down. Last year we cut it down a lot for the Michigan State game. We had a lot of time off. This year we have a little less time. We're actually practicing a little less for this game than we did a year ago. So, you know, we try to cut back. You know, we go in spider pads sometimes. We're going to practice in pads 2 days for this game, and that's it. So, you know, we don't want to beat the players up, but at the same time, I think being physical, tackling well, you know, things like that for college players, even though it's late in the season, I think if you watch bowl games, you should probably see some of the most horrendous, horrific tackling you've ever seen in your life. That's what I've seen when I watch the games. You know, we missed quite a few tackles in the game as well. Not too many. Guys hustling with the ball. When we did miss, there was always another guy there. So those are the type of things that players really have to force themselves to practice. And we don't want to beat them up, but we don't want to put them out there on the field where they're not ready to be able to play and do the things they need to do to have success.
Two more quick ones. We'll go right here in the back.
Coach, this season we've seen you bring in a couple of previous players to emulate opposing quarterbacks. Is that something that you plan to do in preparation for Deshaun Watson?
Yep.
We'll go up right here with Ken.
Man, at the risk of clutter, 10 years ago today, you were in this room for the very first time. Can you allow yourself 1 minute to talk about what's taken place here for you and this program in the last 10 years?
Well, you know, I'm not really thinking about that right now. I'm really focusing on, you know, what we have to do. I mean, look, I want to do the best job for this team and our guys. This is not the time to be falling in love with what you did, you know, yesterday, last week, last year, 10 years ago, or anything else. I mean, I want to do the best job I can for these players to put them in the best position that they can to have a chance to be successful against a great team. I mean, it's how this team will get remembered. Their legacy as a team will go, you know, a long ways to how they do in this game. So it's kind of hard to think about all that stuff when you're really trying to focus on what you'd like to do for the players that you have so much sort of gratitude for, all the hard work that they've done to put themselves in this position, and you just want to be able to help them take advantage of it every way that you can.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Bill.